Welcome back to Portland International Raceway. Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford. Your chance to enter now the Champ Car Live Fast Sweepstakes presented by Bridgestone. Win a trip to the Grand Prix of Cleveland. Plus a set of Bridgestone Potenza pole position tires or an Auto Week subscription. And the grand prize winner gets a new Ford Mustang GT. Join us in Mexico City for the season finale. Code word this week is Nelson. Official rules and an entry at champcar.ws. The Champ Car Live Fast Sweepstakes brought to you by Bridgestone. Alongside Derek Daly, I'm Rick Benjamin on Father's Day 2006. Happy Dad's Day to all the fathers around the country. My dad in Florida, of course, included in that. Running 15th in points. On board there momentarily, Charles Wolzman in the MyJack Conquest 34. Bruno Junqueira, Cristiano D'Amata, fight for 4th position right now. There's about 0.6 of a second separating the two. Junqueira, the pole sitter in the hole-in-the-wall Camps 2 car, grabbed the pole yesterday in second round qualifying with a very fast final lap in the stint. D'Amata, of course, won here a year ago on that alternate strategy that Derek has spoken about. Bruno on the radio there to his team.
Hard to make out what he said, but you can see him saw at the steering wheel. Bruno Junqueira, you see him saw at the steering wheel trying to hang on to this car as he gets the power on exiting. He's now saying that power is blocking him.
Meantime, D'Amata brings the Rousport car to pit road. Car number 10, running in 5th position. This is the car Allmendinger jumped out of. Jan Beekhuis is there.
And they are set up. We're shooting this from Justin Wilson's pit. And they're going to pull the tires back because they're going to pit Justin Wilson after they're completed with D'Amata. Hard to get a very clear view, but very routine from here. Didn't appear to be any stops. 9.8 seconds, and now we already see Justin Wilson on pit road. And as close as he was to the lead, every fraction of a second is going to make a huge difference on pit road. In the meantime, Cameron Steele.
Work on your mark.
Well, we're just wondering what's happening. Mike Cannon with AJ Allmendinger. We saw Justin Wilson go by. When are you guys coming into the pits?
We're going to wait a little bit longer. Our biggest problem right now, for whatever reason, we seem to bump into Catherine lagging off a lot. Our team's not doing a very good job of keeping up with it.
All right. Let's send it to Jan Beekhuis.
And a quick stop for Justin Wilson, in and out. Again, it's a case where you want to save every fraction of a second you can, but if you can stay on the racetrack and run longer, Derek, of course, that's the biggest advantage of all. That's more than you can ever make up in a pit stop.
And AJ Allmendinger right now is running longer than Wilson. Wilson, however, see the red sidewalls here on these little beauties from Bridgestone? Those red sidewalls denotes more speed potentially. However, Mike Cannon is of the belief when he brings his leading driver in, Allmendinger, and puts the black sticker, the brand new fresh Bridgestones on, he thinks he'll be able to run just as fast. In fact, he said maybe a bit faster.
Allmendinger talking to his team about lap traffic. He's got Dan Clark in front of him. Now Clark is 9th. Clark had a pretty slow stop on his second pit stop. He was 3 seconds longer than he wanted to be.
Allmendinger's got to make sure now that he doesn't lose a lot of time. He's on light fuel tanks and he needs to be flying here, running from Wilson. He needs to make sure he judges this properly, doesn't get caught out by lap traffic. Dan Clark is much heavier right now, having just made a pit stop. What will this team do? Will they bring him in or leave him to run that fuel tank all the way down?
At the start of the race, we heard Michael Cannon and AJ Allmendinger on the radio discussing being easy with fuel, trying to save fuel where possible. It's worked out for them so far.
AJ, look at your board. Look at your board. That's count down to 1. Count down to 1. 10-4. We go now. Some is left traffic.
He's outside the second fuel window. Most teams would have stopped their second time by now. They haven't done it yet, so he's going to go another lap further, Derek, on this stint, it appears.
And he knows what's going on here. He's concerned. He's in lap traffic, and he cannot run as fast as normal as he normally would without that lap traffic. That's what he's asking Phil Lapin, who is on the radio to him. With him.
Meantime, the Newman Haas team has told Bruno Junqueira, who right now is 3rd behind Sebastian Bourdais, forget about fuel. Put the pedal down. Let's go. As we watch Catherine Legg in the Bell Micro, car number 20, Legg back in 15th position. Led laps at Milwaukee. First time ever for a woman to win lead laps in the Champ Car World Series. On pit road, Paul Tracy. Cameron.
They had a problem. Fuel out of the car. It looks like they had a little bit of a mix-up there. They were going to short fuel the car and try to send him on his way quickly to go with a different type of strategy, says Neil Mickelwright. But you saw that when they were trying to get the receiver in there, he couldn't get it out quickly, and a little bit of a hiccup. And you can see A.J. Allmendinger is in right now. He's going to be going to the blacks. He's already run both sets of reds. They said the car is perfect. We'll see how it plays out.
Okay, now we have to see, where is Justin Wilson? Where will Wilson be when Allmendinger peels out of the pits here? Where's Wilson? Where is Wilson? Is that him on the right?
Yeah, Allmendinger
look at
out
this.
the pit road. By a whisker, Allmendinger holds the lead.
Oh, we got a fight on our hands here, boys.
Here comes Bruno Junqueira. Bourdais has actually taken the lead now, but he has yet to stop.
Look at Allmendinger, makes a move to the inside of the racetrack. Wilson is on warm tires, hot tires.
Bourdais shown the leader, Allmendinger running in second, Junqueira and Wilson. And you're watching with Wilson as he tries to get around Junqueira now.
Man, 63 laps in, and a blanket will cover the top three here. This is a fight now to the finish.
And Derek, we haven't had a caution lap yet. We've been all green all the way. There was only one yellow here a year ago. Mario Dominguez has made his stop on car number 19, the Sonny's barbecue car. He's back in 15th.
There's Wilson's faster Bridgestone red. See the sidewalls. But if he's stuck behind Junqueira, who now peels away, it is a straight fight. Wilson versus Allmendinger.
There you go.
Oh, this is good stuff here.
Here comes Bruno, pole sitter today in the 2-car. The hole-in-the-wall Camps machine for the Newman Haas bunch, Jan Beekes.
And they're going for the black sidewalls. No visible changes on the wings. And that was a very quick stop. That was under 10 seconds. Took only the fuel that they needed.
Push the whole race. Go, go, go.
Again, so much encouragement on those pit radios to keep everybody, they know cold tires, that's where you can really make hay.
Now he will have to make one more stop. Here comes D'Amata trying to get around Bruno.
And that is for position. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Again, how brave will D'Amata be?
Bruno moves to the inside, closes the door on him. Bruno in the red and white car. D'Amata, the former series champion, the yellow and white Rousport 10.
D'Amata does not need to make an unwarranted brave move here and maybe damage these two cars.
Bourdais has the lead. He loves to get by the lap traffic that he believes is holding him up right now. That's one of the MyJack Conquest cars up there.
The difficulty here is there's double apex corners, and unless a driver literally gets out of the power and moves way offline, as we saw Pastorelli do earlier on, it's hard to just move out of the way here. And watch Bourdais' fist. Just watch this down this front straight. He's waving his fist at the starter stand, trying to tell the flagman, get the blue flag, get these guys out of my way, and he's still not out of Bourdais' way, who is leading right now.
J.D. Wilbur in the flag stand as always for the Champ Car World Series. That blue flag with the orange stripe, and here comes Bourdais, series champion, going for 5 straight wins.
Clear into your box, Seb. Norm's waving you in. It's going to be fast, guys. Nice solid stop here. Hit your mark, Sebastian.
Okay, you hear Kenny Seawick. He's famous for coaching him through every step, and he's had to hear an earful from Sebastian Bourdais about other cars on the racetrack. That was quick. Again, only taking the fuel that they need. They want to be sure that they get back in position, and this time don't get stuck behind slower cars.
39 laps to go. Kyle Sopchik and the boys for the McDonald's team sending their driver Bourdais 4 times a winner this year.
Meanwhile, Allmendinger and Wilson just flew by. It is a straight fight at the front between Allmendinger and Wilson. Allmendinger has the Bridgestone blacks. Wilson has the faster reds. Oh, we're going to see how that plays out here, boys. 66 laps gone.
Which means we are 39 laps from the checkers today here at Portland International Raceway, and Sebastian Bourdais, 2 times the defending Champ Car World Series champion, the points leader this year after winning the first 4 races of the season. Sits third after gridding third. He has led laps just moments ago. This is the battle for the lead. Allmendinger in the 7. The Forsyth Index car, the CDW 9 of Justin Wilson out of England. The 2 former teammates, toe-to-toe again. Now, Derek, the last couple of years, it's been Wilson with the upper hand. Allmendinger couldn't defeat him in a head-to-head battle.
Look at this here. This is what it's all about here. Can Allmendinger withstand the pressure? Can the regular Bridgestones prove to be as fast as these red sidewall tires? And Wilson fights the car.
Meantime, Will Power, the Aussie Vineyards 5 car, they've got a problem taking the engine cover off. They've got the right rear wheel off as well. He stays in the race car, but it looks as though his day may be done. Will Power shown 17th, a couple of laps down. Allmendinger and Wilson less than a second apart at the head of the field. 38 to go, make it 37 as they flash to the stripe. Wilson can see Allmendinger up in front in that Forsyth Index 7. Boy, the scenery around here is just sensational. The racing's been dynamite as well. Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford. Your leaders, Allmendinger. Laps to go in Portland, the Champ Car World Series Grand Prix of Portland. Riding with the second place car of Justin Wilson. There's your leader, Allmendinger. The gap, Derek, about 6 or 7 car lengths.
And Justin Wilson was closer a lap earlier, and he took a big lunge down the inside of A.J. Allmendinger, who got caught in traffic. Have a look at it right here. This is down the front straight. Allmendinger caught in traffic a little bit. Watch Wilson. Watch the wheels. Oh, locks it up. Locks it up. That gives you an indication of just how hard Justin Wilson is trying to make the pass on A.J. Allmendinger.
Now, he's been on the radio with his team. One more look from the onboard. He thinks he may have flat spotted a tire here. Watch this. Dragging that right front, Derek.
He might have. He may well have flat spotted that.
He's on those Bridgestone Reds, the alternates, and we know they're softer. Leaders on the front straightaway, lap 72, 33 to go. One more stop upcoming. All green so far today at Portland. Allmendinger at the end of the front stretch, nearly 168 miles an hour.
This is what it's all about here. This is what racing is all about. Man and machine, straight fight, going as hard as they can.
Allmendinger at age 24 has yet to win in these cars, Derek. What's he feeling? What's the pressure like on him right now?
Have another little peep here at the flat spot. We're going to slow the video down and stop it, and I'll show you what a flat spot is. Wilson in the red car, we're on board, flats, hits it now. Roll the video a little bit more to the second stop. He rolled the tires. Now, when he stops it right, rolled a little bit more. You see the blue? Now stop it right there. Stop it right there. See that? That's what we call a flat spot. Flat spot is when the tire is round and then you flatten it because you scrub it against the ground. Will Wilson pay for that little brake lockup as this race runs on?
You'd think he'd have to, Derek. That would take the wheel out of balance, perhaps. He is back off the pace a bit. He's given up a 1.5 seconds in the last lap. He was right behind Allmendinger for 6 or 7 laps. Look, 2.5 seconds back now.
Oh, AJ will look in his mirrors and see the red car get further and further away. 2 laps earlier, he could say Wilson's eyeballs out on stalks as he was trying to attack Allmendinger. Jan?
With Carl Russo. And Carl, we heard on the radio a concern about a flat spot. Is that a concern for you and the team?
Well, I think it's a little bit of a concern. As you saw, Justin was chasing down AJ and they came up on a lap car. I think the lap car slowed a little bit more than Justin anticipated. AJ slowed down and then Justin really had to get on it. We'll see how bad of a flat spot it is. If it's really bad, he'll just jiggle his eyeballs around a little bit. If it's not so bad, he'll drive through it.
Now, if it were bad, would you take an earlier part of the next pit window to get a new tire on sooner?
Well, the engineers will make that judgment based upon lap times, and they'll look and see what they think they're losing versus what they'll gain, and they'll make that call. To your point, if he's losing a lot, they're going to make an early stop.
Your personal thoughts on seeing AJ and Justin race each other out there so close, but not in both of your cars?
I think it's a Rue Sport 1-2 so far, so I'm doing okay. No, I think, again, I told you, I think AJ's a great driver. I think Justin's a great driver. I think it's poetic justice that we're seeing this fight. It's a heck of a race right now, and everywhere in the field.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Justin Wilson second in the CCWS car. Problems a moment ago as he was trying to take the lead away from A.J. Allmendinger heading into turn 1.
So what happens? The driver, the weight on the right side of the car is a little bit less. That's why the wheel locks in the first place. Now it's grinding the rubber off the road, grinding the tire. Left one is rotating, right one isn't. Grinding the rubber away, grind away, grind away. Eventually it's flat. There it is right there. Look at that baby right there. And when that gets flat, that's what Carl Russo was referring to also when he said about the flat spot. And just so as you, again, the flat spot, the tire is fully around, then you have a flat spot where you wear it away. That causes the vibration and the eyeballs to rattle.
He is slowing down. Cameron Steele.
Well, I was talking to Michael Cannon about the fuel delivery, and they said, we short-fueled a bit, but we think that Justin Wilson short-fueled even more. And, quote, he said, we're going to run him like a dog until he has to come in.
Love it, love it, love it.
You've got to answer pressure with pressure in this game, Derek Daly.
I love what I'm seeing right now. And Cameron, when Mike Cannon told you earlier on that we think the track's going to have enough grip for the Bridgestone regular blacks to be able to run as fast as Wilson on the reds, I think that was an engineer who knew what he was talking about, certainly from what we see right here.
Well, the third and final pit stop window has just opened. We are 30 laps from home here today, so you could make your final stop now. A little further back in the field, Oriol Serbia 9th, Andrew Ranger 10th. Alex Tagliani in 11th, but not in the frame at the moment. As we watch Serbia in that 6th car. Remember, he wrecked 2 cars earlier this weekend. He's using Catherine Legg's backup at the moment. And there's the MyJack Conquest driver, the 27 young Andrew Ranger, holding on to 10th.
Allmendinger just pulled 7/10 of a second over Wilson on that last lap again, except he got himself into traffic. Part of that traffic is Oriol Serbia right here in the Gulfstream car.
That top 5 on the Milwaukee Mile 2 weeks ago. Best run of the season so far for the driver who won at Montreal for the Newman Haas team 1 year ago. His first career victory in Champ Car, native of Catalunya, Spain.
And they changed everything on the setup prior to this race because Oriol was struggling. That's where he had the 2 crashes right there. We showed them earlier. The highest speed corner on the racetrack.
Allmendinger trying to put these guys a lap down. Allmendinger's right behind Ranger now.
Well, the problem is Ranger and Serbia are in a battle for position, so they do not want to pull over and make it easy for Allmendinger to get by and potentially lose touch with each other. This could be tricky for Allmendinger.
A.J. Allmendinger, Derek, and you started to talk about it earlier in the telecast. Let's go back, if we can, a year ago, several times, especially at Edmonton, where we'll be on CBS in a few weeks, seemed to have the race in the bag for the Roos Sport team. And as you put it, threw it away.
Had brain fade at critical times. So far today, he has been impeccable. If he can be mistake-free, so seldom does a racing driver get the package that is this good underneath you, the type of package we see Allmendinger have today. That's an awful speech up, but he's got to make his way past these guys.
Andrew Ranger there in the MyJack 27, the MyJack Conquest car we showed you at age 19. Very well placed in the championship, although they have struggled here.
Oh, look!
Wilson for tires. He's coming in now.
Oh, decisive moment.
Justin Wilson.
Very shortly after tires. Once again, we'll need 10 without laps. Yeah.
He can't.
Heading toward his pit stall. They'll put on the blacks. Jan Bikas.
And he slid just a little bit past the marks. That shouldn't slow it too much, but every fraction of a second makes a difference. So we know the answer about the flat spot. Just by virtue of the fact he decided to pit early, that's the answer about how bad that flat spot is.
27 laps to go. 7th place Paul Tracy will also pit his Forsyth Index 3 car right now. Wilson fine on fuel to get home, Derek, but that stop early.
One tiny brake lock at the end of this front straight here may end up being the telltale difference between whether you challenge for the lead and the race win or whether you've given up the golden opportunity here. However, Allmendinger now still has to run through traffic and make his last pit stop.
So the pressure from Wilson is off for now. He's still shown second. There's Tracy leaving pit road. He's made his final stop of the day. That shoves him back to 10th. Wilson down the backstretch in the CDW 9. We showed you earlier how strong he was here a year ago. Led from the pole through more than 50 laps of racing, only to have the engine let go, and Wilson did not get to the checkers. The culprit.
There it is. There is the flat spot. That causes the vibration through the steering. It'll go through the chassis. It'll shake the driver's eyeballs, depending on how bad it is. But that's the reason right there why Justin Wilson was forced to make a different pit strategy decision. Now, can he still run down Allmendinger?
Well, this has vaulted Sebastian Bourdais into second spot, 15 seconds behind the race leader Allmendinger. But Bourdais hasn't shown much speed today, Derek. A caution would help him tremendously, of course. Or problems for Allmendinger that could crop up as we are 25 laps from home here at the Champ Car Grand Prix of Portland. 5th race of 2006. Next week on CBS, we'll be with you on Sunday afternoon. The Champ Car Grand Prix of Cleveland. Hope you can be with us from Burke Lakefront Airport, one of the best venues in the sport. Wide, fast, and wild on the shores of Lake Erie.
Well,
here is Bruno. It's 4th place to Junqueira in that 2-car.
A mistimed yellow now will be a disaster for Allmendinger.
Absolutely.
Because Wilson would be laughing all the way to the bank.
Bourdais, too, would stand to benefit greatly if such a thing were to happen. But we have been caution-free. A year ago, only 1 yellow flag, and it was for Wilson when the engine broke in the 9-car. For 3rd spot, the gap very tight, couple of car lengths. There's your pole sitter, Junqueira, who is in 4th in front of Cristiano D'Amata, who took over the Rue Sport 10 with the departure of Allmendinger following Milwaukee. Carl Russo and the Rue Sport management group quick to pounce and name the former Champ Car champion as the new driver of the 10 car. And it's tough. They didn't get to test together. They came here this weekend. They don't even have a proper seat for D'Amata as we watch the 9. Serbia on pit road from 10th position. The Gulfstream Lola, the PKV car.
And the reason that he pitted is he also had a right front flat spot, very similar to what we saw for Justin Wilson on the red sidewall. So Justin Wilson, not the only one with that problem.
Serbia back onto the racetrack in front of Nicky Pastorelli, who runs 17th in that Bavaria 8 car for the Rocket Sports team.
Now we know Justin Wilson is on the backside of the racetrack right now. He is clear of all traffic. He just did a 60.2. That is more than a second faster than Allmendinger just did. So we're only on lap 81 here. This could get really interesting.
Sure.
If Allmendinger cannot make his way past traffic as Wilson continues to make these type of laps. Nicky Pastorelli.
10th in Milwaukee, best of his early Champ Car career. He's only in his 5th start now for Paul Gentilosi's Rocket Sports team with that Bavaria backing on the side.
Bavaria is a Dutch beer.
Yes, it is. Pastorelli qualified 11th. A good qualifying run for him, but they've struggled during the race. Wilson trying to get by him here on the main straightaway. Wilson 3rd, 31 seconds behind the leader Allmendinger now. There is Serbia. He has gotten by Pastorelli. Now Wilson elbows his way by the lap car, but Bruno Junqueira being held up back there. Bruno can't get by Pastorelli. So, here's the situation. 23 laps from the checkers at Portland. A.J. Allmendinger has led virtually all the way. The champion Bourdais trails. We'll be back.
Watch your speed. Your box is wide open. Right in under Jay's hand. Okay.
Welcome back to Portland. The leader is on pit road. A.J. Allmendinger with 21 laps to go. Fuel and tires. Just a splash of fuel. You don't need to run the full stint. 7.5 seconds in Derek Daly.
Watch your speed on the way out. 2 cars on your left.
You've got to observe the pit road speed limit.
50 miles an hour.
Okay.
Back up on the racetrack. Allmendinger gave up the lead to Bourdais with that stop, but Bourdais still has to stop himself.
Top of the picture was Wilson just coming out of the last corner, so it's the full length of the front straight. When this shakes out and the timing and scoring resets itself, we get an accurate gap between Allmendinger and Wilson.
Right now, 7.5 seconds. Bourdais takes the lead. Getting ready to pit Bourdais. Now, your chance to enter the Champ Car Live Fast sweepstakes presented by Bridgestone is yours. Win a trip to Cleveland, a set of Bridgestone Potenzas or Auto Week. One grand prize winner gets that new Ford Mustang GT and will join us in Mexico City. Code word this week, Nelson. The official rules and to enter ChampCar.ws. The Champ Car Live Fast sweepstakes presented by Bridgestone. Bourdais making his final stop, Jan Beekes.
Kenny Seawick walks him through the sequence again. Look at the front wing. They are expected to add some front wing to Sebastian, but only a half a turn. One turn adds 13 pounds. Oh, that was only one side. So if one turn is 13 pounds on both sides, that was a half. That was a very minute adjustment for Sebastian Bourdais.
Allmendinger cycles back into the lead with 18 laps to go.
We're talking 7 seconds. Allmendinger has a 7-second lead. They are both on the black Bridgestone tires. They are on an even footing here. Cristiano D'Amato, Wilson's teammate. Shortstop.
Running 6th. Here comes Nelson Philippe behind him. D'Amato down and away from 6th position, the defending race winner here. He will not back that up with a 2nd consecutive win, this time for Rousport. A.J. Allmendinger with 19 laps to go continues to lead. D'Amato accelerating off the festival curves to the backside of the racetrack. Now Derek Daly, Allmendinger with a 7-second advantage over Justin Wilson. Everyone has made their stops. Sebastian Bourdais cycles back into 3rd, about 8 seconds off the lead. Now it's a matter of, can you run the leader down? Power to pass time from Cosworth as we watch D'Amato up through the gearbox. Allmendinger has 25 seconds of power to pass time left. Now here's how D'Amato won a year ago with that early stop. They got a caution right after this that put D'Amato at the head of the line. He gained track position, never gave the lead up the rest of the day. It was the first win for the PKB team. So far their only win in Champ Car.
That time's changed. Also won in 2002 as Speedy Dan makes his last pit stop. He was in 5th place. He'll now drop down behind Cristiano D'Amato and Tracy right there, left side of your screen. Tracy, blue and white car, off the pace all day.
But what a weekend, what a day for Speedy Dan Clark at 22. We talked about him earlier in the broadcast. He was running 3rd earlier in the season at Houston. Notably, he had a couple of different wrecks. There was talk that he might not even finish the season in this car. But as we heard from Keith Wiggins earlier, the team principal for CTE HVM, he has come into his own. He's learned from his mistakes. He's paid attention, gotten faster. As we watch A.J. Allmendinger putting on a clinic here today. He's got to get by Mario Dominguez in that Sonny's Barbecue 19. The 3rd driver involved in the round of musical chairs we had, Cameron.
Who drove this car?
Well, I've caught up with Greg Allmendinger, AJ's father, and it looks like your boy's working pretty hard to bring you quite a Father's Day gift.
Yes, it will. It's very exciting out here. So thankful for the opportunity from Foresight. It's been great, and all we need to do now is to see a checkered flag.
I bet you're wishing it was coming sooner than later.
Yes, I wish it would come real soon, but it's really a great thing. And I'd just like to say thank you to Red Bull for sticking behind him, and I'd like to say happy Father's Day to my dad at home, and hope to be on number 1 on top of the podium. So
we'll see if it works out. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Greg Allmendinger hoping for an incredible. Could be some chest bumping in victory lane if A.J. Allmendinger can close the deal. He is 13 laps from home as we watch Nelson Philippe run 8th in car number 4. Trying to get close enough to get by his teammate Speedy Dan Clark, who, after running in the top 3 earlier, Derek, Clark has battled back, but he's had some adversity. He's had some difficulty lately. The car isn't working nearly as well. Here's Philippe, who was 3rd at Milwaukee, trying to get around his teammate and take 7th away from him. In the mix of that group, Andrew Ranger, Oriol Serbia. They are running 9th and 10th right now. There is Philippe getting by the lap car. The Muirman's number 11, Jan Halen, the other Dale Coyne entry. He and Mario Dominguez now, the teammates at Dale Coyne Racing. As Derek mentioned a few moments ago, Allmendinger was battling to get by Dominguez, and they had essentially swapped seats, or they had participated in a 3-way swap of seats. There's Clark. He saved some of the Bridgestone Reds for his final run here today.
Bird and a bear backing on the side of this car. There is our Dan.
8th at Milwaukee, a very good run for him. First time he'd ever seen an oval track, of course, out of England. Now you might be thinking about A.J. Allmendinger, as we have been up here topside at Portland International Raceway. This is his 3rd year in the series. He won the Barber Dodge Championship, then the Atlantic Series Championship, came to Champ Car in 04 with high hopes. Many close calls, hadn't gotten to victory lane. He is the only American driver now as we watch Nelson Philippe. And there is Dan Clark, actually. Philippe had that podium a week ago. When was the last time an American-born driver won a Champ Car World Series round? Well, it was almost 2 years ago, more than 2 years ago. In fact, it was Ryan Hunter-Reay. The night he went wire to wire at the Milwaukee Mile in 2004. Jan Beekes.
When you talk about the Milwaukee Mile, when you talk about CTE Racing, of course, standing for Cedric the Entertainer, we've known that the former HVM team has always been good on the oval, but they've said we used to struggle on this road course type of setup. Obviously, they took that momentum that they gained from Milwaukee in these fast, kind of long momentum corners. They've applied it here. They're obviously very happy with what they've come up with.
Philippe also is the Bosch Most Improved Driver of last year. That was, of course, voted by his peers. So Philippe and this team and Dan Clark hanging on to how good it all is, all beginning to come together very nicely. But this is the man here who's having a day in the sunshine. If he can just hang on here and be mistake-free to the end of this race.
10 laps to go for A.J. Allmendinger in the Forsyth Index 7 car, gunning for his first career Champ Car win. Cameron Steele, what a day for Allmendinger and that team.
Wow, it certainly has been quite a week. Actually, I'm here with Lynn Krishnarenko. And Lynn, when he proposed to you as an unemployed driver, did you think there was any chance he'd be here leading the race at Portland, going for his first win?
Well, his mom promised me he'd get a job, so. No, you know, this weekend's been a lot of new stuff, and we can't thank Forsyth enough for everything they've done for him. They made him feel so welcome and so relaxed this weekend. And Red Bull has backed him 100% this week. It couldn't have been a better time for all these people to rally around him and make him feel welcome.
But was he down? How was his personality? I mean, were you shocked, obviously, with what happened? But how did he take it? It seems like he's bounced back really well.
He has. You know, no one ever likes to hear that kind of news, but he certainly was. It's time for a change, and he agreed with that. And so certainly it's come full circle, and he's doing really well. And so we're all very happy with the change.
Looks like change is good. We'll see how it plays out.
I think that you could say that A.J. Allmendinger has just gotten himself a full season ride. That 2-race deal, I bet that gets torn up tonight. What do you think, Derek?
Let me tell you, with less than 10 laps to go, AJ, this is hang on to your Hollyhawks time, because if you can pull this off, this will be a day that you'll watch the videotape for many years to come, because so far it has been absolutely Cinderella stuff.
Less than 10, 9 laps to go. The last time by, Allmendinger out of turn 4, headed to the backside here at Portland International Raceway. He's got a 9.5-second lead over his ex-teammate and still good friend Justin Wilson in that CDW car number 9. Wilson with the 2 career wins, and he came oh so close here a year ago before motor failure did him in. Wilson with that flat-spotted tire when he was chasing Allmendinger back 25 laps ago, Derek, that did him in.
It did him in on that particular challenge, but overall, as you look at the performance of Wilson right here and Allmendinger overall, from green flag to potential checkered flag, Allmendinger still has the speed. He just has the better package, and he has not made a mistake. So I don't think, even in a straight fight, I'm not sure Wilson right here in the
race is 59.7, Steve-Ass.
In the CDW car, I'm not sure he was going to be able to take it to Allmendinger. You heard that fastest lap of the race at 59.7. That was actually, I'm looking at the
59.4 is what it looks like.
Which Bourdais just did that. So Bourdais just set fastest lap of the race.
Making a statement here late in the going on light fuel on the Bridgestone black tires. Bourdais bid to win 5 in a row and join Al Unser Jr.
Wow, that's right.
Will not work. Al Unser Sr., I should say, will not work out. Al Unser, of course, in 1970 won 5 in a row.
And guys, when you talk about fastest lap, remember, if it's not your day, there's always a championship point if you run the fastest lap. So they're always thinking about championship at Newman Haas and the McDonald's team.
Very good point, Jan. Exactly. Bourdais, 59.4. In fact, his last 2 laps were the 2 fastest laps of the race.
Bourdais on the button now. 12.5 seconds back of Allmendinger. 7 laps to go as they come by, start-finish, and head to turn 1 here at Portland.
That's what he's doing here. He's using all the extra Cosworth power to pass as we have a little Bo Peep here at the battle for 6th place. Hard to believe Paul Tracy is in a fight here for 6th place with Dan Clark and Nelson Philippe.
About 3/10 separating these drivers. Tracy has 6th right now. His 128th straight start. Now, he saved the set of the Bridgestone Reds for the final run here today, too. Clark is 7th. Philippe is 8th. 9th is Ranger.
Push to pass. Clock is on it. Clock is on. Push to pass.
Oh, that is Neil Mickelwright telling Paul Tracy that Clark is on the Cosworth push to pass, the extra 50 horsepower to try and pass Tracy down this front straight. This is a great fight here with 6 laps to go.
But you know what? Clark just used his last shot of power to pass. He's out.
And didn't pull it off.
Didn't get it done. Tracy still has 14 seconds. And the way that works at a place like this, you might be wondering, it comes out of a 60-second bank. You do get a 10-second burst, and the savvy veterans like Tracy, they'll save a second or two and get one extra burst. They might get 8 or 9 seconds of extra power to pass over and above that 60 that they're given on the clock, on the computer.
And meanwhile, Nelson Philippe is catching the 2 of them here.
Yeah.
Philippe is definitely rolling them in here. Philippe would love to get that, at least that 6th place, or that 7th place from his teammate Dan Clark.
Watching that battle, Tracy remains 6th, 7th is Clark. Philippe, his teammate, is 8th. Up in front, it's still Allmendinger, 8.5 seconds to the good.
Push to pass left.
Telling Nelson Philippe that he's got the opportunity to get around his teammate now because Clark has used all of his power to pass time. And here comes the John Halen machine. And there is Allmendinger. The battle for second, though, starting to be joined. Bourdais about a 1.5 seconds behind Wilson. There's Wilson in the CDW9. He runs second. The McDonald's 1 of the champion Bourdais is third. 5 laps to go at Portland. 5 to go for the leaders.
Oh, the only problem Bourdais might have is when we went on board at the end of the long back straight, Bourdais gets on the rev limiter. I thought earlier that they just put the wrong gear in this for the conditions today. So as he now begins to challenge potentially Wilson for second place, will he have the grunt down the back straight without getting on that rev limiter? Here it is. Here's the back straight here.
Wilson second. There's Bourdais third. Bourdais' bid to win 5 in a row to open the season will not work out.
Listen. There it is. There's the rev limiter. That will be the limiting factor down this back straight. Now the front straight's shorter.
And Derek, remember, if you were to use the Cosworth power to pass, it raises the rev limit. So if he does have anything in the bank, that's one way he can get away from that.
Bourdais crosses it up in turn 1. Had to grab an extra gear there coming out of the festival corners.
Just as he turned into the apex, had a full handful of opposite lock on the McDonald's car, trying to control it as he got to the apex.
Wilson trying to hang on to second. Bourdais is all over him as the laps wind down. Less than 4 to go. Allmendinger with an 8-second lead. A.J. Allmendinger has been so close so many times. He is way in front of this fight. Had his hands full with Wilson several dozen laps ago.
Hang on, let's listen. Okay, so he does not have his car on the rev limiter.
A little further back, Tracy now trying to hang on to 6th. He's still got Dan Clark filling his mirrors in the CTE HVM 14. His teammate, Nelson Philippe, in the Wellbox CTE HVM car, the 4, right there with him. 6th, 7th, and 8th, all nose to tail. Remember, Clark is out of Cosworth power to pass time. Philippe has 20 seconds of it. Bourdais, meantime, right on the back wing of the CDW car, Wilson. This is for second.
Bourdais is obviously faster. Can he get close enough at the end of the infield section right here? Up the little hill. This is a little rise. Turn left. Now the next right-hander, he's got to rocket off here and see can he force his way down the inside of Wilson. He's not close enough.
Nope.
He's not close enough. I don't think this is where he's going to make the lunge anyway. He needs to line himself up. Oh, there's the killer. But he needs to line himself up here. Get the gear. Turn the car. Here we go. Under his wing. Stay on. Oh.
Not quick enough off that corner.
I don't think so.
2 laps to go, 2 to go at Portland International Raceway.
He's good in the brake zone, but he's too far behind.
Series champion Sebastian Bourdais, I'm sure, thinking if something happens to Allmendinger in the waning moments here, He could still steal the win and get 5 in a row if he can get by Wilson.
Look the way he ran him down in that last 5 laps.
2 car lengths is the gap. They'll see the white flag next time by. A.J. Allmendinger is headed to the house, it appears. He will be the first USA driver to win in Champ Car since Ryan Hunter-Reay more than 2 years ago.
What a story this will be. Hired, engaged, or fired, engaged, and hired all within the span of 5 days. He can't believe what's going on here when he sees this white flag.
A.J. Allmendinger off of turn 12 at Portland. Clean racetrack in front of him. J.D. Wilbur puts the white flag in the air. There's Lynn, Mom, Karen, Dad, Greg Allmendinger watching from the Forsyth Index pit box.
And their heartbeat is as high as that being monitored in Nelson Philippe's car right now.
24-year-old A.J. Allmendinger from Denver, Colorado these days, although originally from California. There is Karen.
Oh, this is awesome. Oh, look at the tears. Look at the tears down Lynn's face.
Remember in Edmonton a year ago, you called him Allmendinger, Derek Daly.
He was a one-man crash highlight reel halfway through last season, but here's the battle for second place.
Bourdais trying, but he will not get there. Here comes Allmendinger down into the final corners. History about to be made in the Champ Car World Series. A.J. Allmendinger at age 24. His first drive for the Forsyth team. Michael Cannon talking to him on the radio, and fourth, the Allmendinger victory has happened. A.J. Allmendinger gets it done in Portland.
An encore, topping yourself. Don't keep blowing yourself.
That is a stunner. What a display. Can he even do donuts? Does he even know how to do them?
The family celebrating on Father's Day here at Portland International Raceway.
For a guy who's never got to do donuts before, he's doing a fairly good job.
I think he's been practicing. What do you think?
And he's on the rev limiter. He is going to blow that thing sky high. There is a very proud dad. Greg Allmendinger has supported his son, AJ, who's named after the great A.J. Foyt. Cameron?
Well, I'm here with Greg Allmendinger right now. What a Father's Day, and the naming of AJ even, I mean, a story here. Awesome day.
Thank you very much, man. This is a dream come true. I knew he had it in him. I just lost for words right now. I just want to say thank you to Forsyth, Red Bull, and everybody that's helped out.
Well, happy day for Greg Allmendinger, but we saw tears of joy there. What a great moment for you guys, Lynn.
Oh, this is a great moment, really, for his parents. They've been waiting for this a lot longer, and I'm just so happy for him. And the pressure he's had this weekend has been amazingly high, and the way he just coped with everything, I think, just shows his true maturity level and how much he's grown.
Definitely some mental strength coming from A.J. Allmendinger today with his first ever win.
Unbelievable here at Portland. Allmendinger getting let go by the Roost Sport team 2 weeks ago. And Derek, I think it's a matter of chemistry and opportunity. Obviously with a point to prove, Allmendinger fastest on Friday gets the job done today. We'll be back to talk to the winner when we continue. Welcome back to Portland on CBS. Your winner is A.J. Allmendinger. Jan Dinkus.
Well, and if you can see it through all the confetti, we have one excited A.J. Allmendinger with tears of joy streaming down your face. A.J., you could not write a movie script any better than this one. Your thoughts?
I just can't believe it. I got to thank Forsyth and all the opportunity that they gave me this weekend. This team, this crew, they're absolutely amazing, and they just did everything that they could for me this weekend, and they're awesome. And, Red Bull for sticking with me, Puma, my parents, my fiance, and, I know there's been a lot of talk, but I just want to thank Carl for everything he did for me over the last 3 years. I wish I could have got the first one for him, but you know what? Thank you to Forsyth for giving me this opportunity.
You mentioned Carl Russo, and right behind you was one of his cars, Justin Wilson, still your good friend. Were you aware how close he was at one point on the approach to the festival curves?
Oh, yeah. That unfortunately, Justin doesn't ever give up. I wish he would sometimes, but The guy's absolutely amazing. I've said it since day one when I was his teammate, and I'll say it until the day I retire. He's amazing, but I knew if I could just hold him off and get through the lap traffic, my car was better. So I was just kind of trying to pace myself and get through the traffic. Thanks, man.
And as we speak, here is Justin Wilson coming in. They're still best of friends. Justin, it's okay. We can talk as well. We were just saying that you were so close coming into the Festival Curves. You think you had a shot at him?
Well, we were in traffic, and I looked at it and decided against and locked up and, just wiped out my front tire. So, AJ was on his game all weekend this week, and, I think the fresh start is really what was needed, and, I'm really pleased for him.
From your standpoint, how tough is it to lose? I mean, today is just, as you can see behind, he's getting the hugs and congratulations from his father on Father's Day. But for you and AJ are so close, and yet all of a sudden this huge shakeup, and now you're racing again together, but for different teams. Yeah,
that's exactly what I said. It's a fresh start for AJ, and he's obviously very happy now, and it's a great moment for him. So I'm really pleased, and we're still good friends away from the track, but we want to beat each other on, and it's always been the same.
Thank you, Justin. And for Champ Car, you can see how close the community is. AJ Allmendinger walking across the car, getting the congratulations. There's Neil Mickelwright. There's the rest of the crew. His first win, and can you believe, Derek, you just said that it was Cinderella-like. Just couldn't write it any better than that.
Hollywood would love that story, no question about it. AJ Allmendinger, your first career win here at Portland. Wild day, but it wasn't anything. Other things happened here. Other great racing took place here at Portland this weekend. Our Mazda Power Play, let's have a look back at some of the action. The Champ Car Atlantic Series. Graham Rahal on the pole, but he got turned around in the turn 1, 2, and 3 complex by Simon Pagenaud. One more look at it. This is Pagenaud from his onboard into the back end of Rahal's car. Pagenaud's car damaged. Dad Bobby, former Champ Car champion, consoling his son who won the previous race at Monterrey, Mexico. Leo Maya and James Davidson got together. Davidson had damage to his front end, didn't realize it, and put him into the wall. He shook his fist at Maya. They'll get back together later. Now the 6 car would get going and get around the 30. Quite a battle here as they fought it out toward the end. There was a lot of action in the Champ Car Atlantic Championship. The victory went to James Hinchcliffe in the Amexis Forsyth car, so a 2-race victory weekend for the Forsyth team.
All right, so one of the main events here in Portland is the big Texas Hold'em tournament. And, the good card player that I am, I thought I'd join in. But I never thought I'd be sitting here with Alex Tagliani.
Burn card.
For the final. Here we go.
9 on 4th Street.
I'm going for a Royal Flush.
I'm going all in with this card. All in.
Oh, you think so? You know what? I'm going to call you, Mr. Tag.
And the river card. 10 of spades. Yes.
Whoa, whoa, Mr. Tagliani might want to go back to Vegas and take a little card lesson. Thank you, my friend.
Congratulations. Royal Straight Flush.
Michelle Beisner with the deal for us at Portland. AJ Allmendinger, the celebration continues. His first career Champ Car World Series win here at Portland International Raceway. His 32nd career start, his first for the Forsyth team. He beats his former teammate Wilson. The champion Bourdais runs third. Alex Tagliani, Swolsman, Catherine Legg, Mario Dominguez, who moved to the 19 car. Jan Halen, Kazimets, Pastorelli, Will Power, the 18th finisher here today. Cameron Steele.
Well, I've caught up with Sebastian Bourdais and not able to do the 5 in a row, but still a podium today, but you look disappointed. What happened?
I think I look frustrated. When we start third on the grid and before cross the start-finish line, you're 7th. I think I can't even imagine how this thing has been thrown green. I mean, the first one wasn't very clean, but if they threw the green flag on the second one, when the first one for me was so much better. So from there on, it's one of the toughest places to pass on the season. So we just had a great McDonald's car today, and it's frustrating to bring it, no better than third.
Speaking of passes, talk about when you almost got him.
Well, I think it's you can get very close, but the problem is after a few laps in the tires, the Bridgestone tires, as good as they are, they just really get hurt here, and it was really difficult. Justin was in trouble, but it wasn't enough for me to pass him. I just tried to put the pressure on him.
A third place finish for Sebastian Bourdais. Let's go to Jan.
And of course, it's been a tough day for Newman Haas. And Bruno, I know you were so excited with the pole position when you got back here with your team. A lot of animated discussion about the start. What was your view of the start?
I mean, my view is I did the first start perfect. I don't know why they waved the yellow. And then the second one, I wait a little bit more to go full throttle. And before I went full throttle, when I was controlling the speed, they threw the green. They catch me off guard, and they threw the green much, much earlier. So by turn one, I was fifth. So all the work that I did on qualify, a mistake of the race directors made me go to fifth. Unfortunately, you cannot penalize them, and they did a yellow flag and restart again. So I had a car to win today. I have to thank my Newman Haas team, but unfortunately, we finished fourth. You know, it's good that at least I finished a first race of the year, but it's too hard to be penalized twice already this year, and it's unacceptable.
Now, after your accident, you've been doing so much training, and this is the first real opportunity on a very physical track to do a race distance. How are you feeling?
No, I feel 100%. I didn't get tired at all. I just mad, you know, because I cannot believe what's happened at the start. There's no excuse for what they did, the mistake they did. They had time to redo the start or whatever. I cannot explain.
Okay, we wish you better in Cleveland. Thank you.
Thank you.
The thoughts of Bruno Junqueira, the pole sitter today, has to settle for fourth, unhappy with the way the second start attempt was handled. Championship with 5 of 15 scheduled races complete. Renee remains on top, 30 points to the good over Wilson. A.J. Allmendinger takes control of third in the standings with his first career victory here today, 60 back in front of Ranger. Oriol Servia is 11th in front of Dan Clark and Catherine Legg, Will Power, Halen, Charles Wolzman, and Nikki Pastorelli. We've got more to come for you here on CBS Sports next Sunday, 2:30 Eastern. Our coverage of Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series continues. We're at Burke Lakefront Airport. Join us for the Grand Prix of Cleveland.
CBS Sports coverage of Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford, is sponsored by Ford. Bold moves. And by Bridgestone Tires. Passion for excellence.
Back at Portland International Raceway as Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford. Victory Lane ceremonies, the celebration continuing for A.J. Allmendinger. A lot's been happening off the racetrack within Champ Car. Let's get more on that. Back to Jan Beekes.
Been a lot of changes in the Champ Car World Series recently, including a new paint scheme on the PKV machine, some barbed wires, some deeper colors. But a lot of the talk has been behind the scenes with the president of Champ Car, Steve Johnson. Merger with the IRL. That's been the talks for so many months. What's the update?
Well, the update and the good news is we're still talking. So I say stay tuned. There's good stuff coming down the road. We don't know when or if, but the key is everybody's still talking, and that's a good thing.
There's been a lot of talking also about Phoenix. There's been talks, there's been frogs, Phoenix. What's going on there?
Well, one of the senators is so happy that we're potentially coming to Phoenix to run a downtown street race. He says, I don't care what's here, I'll watch frogs race. So we put frog decals on the cars to let them know we're bringing our frogs to Phoenix.
And we certainly look forward to the possibility of going racing in Phoenix, perhaps in 2007. Well, after the 5th race of 2006, our Roush Brown's Rookie of the Year standings, Speedy Dan Clark is out in front. 1 point to the good over Catherine Legg. Will Power all grouped within 4. Zolzman, Halen, Pastorelli, and Denise Kazimets trailing. Let's get the thoughts of the leading rookie in the season standings. Cameron.
Well, Speedy Dan leading the rookie points and running as high as second today. Maybe a little disappointed with 6, but that is your best finish. I think we deserve a smile maybe.
Yeah, 6 is not bad. Top rookie. I really wanted 6. I came out after our last stop and PT was ahead. And there was some cursing going on in the helmet, but I was lucky to catch him by the end, and I think that was a real battle. I don't know how it looked on the camera, but I know he was trying, and I was trying, and to get him on the last lap, like that as well. I think I'll remember that for a while. I think my manager will like that. He's probably on TV now laughing.
Definitely laughing a little bit. I want to ask you about the flat tire. What happened, and were you concerned that was just going to put you all the way to the back?
Yeah, definitely. I got a great start into second, and I was quite comfortable there. And we know that AJ was quick all weekend, so we weren't trying to win the race. And our first race is a rookie race, and we knew we'd be miles ahead of the rookies, so we were content with that. But to run that pace was was really confidence building. I mean, it was scary at the time because, you know, everyone's on your case, on your tail. But it was good to run that pace. And then, yeah, then we had the flat spot, and that was just the bumps going into turn 1. So annoying. But to come out in third again, and then Bourdais was on my case. And, you know, I really earned myself some confidence there just by staying in front of him for the whole stint. And I could see that he didn't have the legs on me either. And then it kind of got hard, and the seatbelt started pinching my leg, and my leg went numb, which is really hard when it's your throttle pedal as well. But no, I'm happy, and happy for it because it's Father's Day as well, so happy Father's Day, Dad.
There you go. Let's send it back up to the booth.
Dan Clark finished 6th today. A.J. Allmendinger swagging the victor's champagne for the first time in his Champ Car career, Derek Daly. What a scene down below us, our vantage point. And A.J., you know, all that he's been through in the last week and a half.
Give the champagne bottle to his dad. It was a very emotional day, and I have to believe that A.J. Allmendinger, this young, gifted American, grew up today. I believe he is now at a new and a higher level. Jan Beekes?
Well, you talk about a higher level. You talk about Cristiano D'Amata, P5, today a 5th place. Got to be reasonably happy with that.
I'm reasonably happy. His first weekend with the team. Of course, looking what AJ did with his first weekend with the team, we may look pretty bad, you know, compared to his first weekend with the team. But I'm happy overall with the progress we had through the weekend. I understand a lot more how the team works. The team understands better how I drive, how I like the car. So I'm sure we're gonna be improving quickly from this point on.
Now tell me about the start. You have a little different view than what Bruno had told me. What's your take on the start?
Well, I think it's difficult to say, but from what I see, I think Bruno and Sebastian, I mean, basically the line I was in, which was Bruno first, Sebastian third, I was 5th. They both started to get going. All of a sudden, they backed off. I don't know for what reason. I don't know what the flagger was doing, because I was just looking at Bruno's car to see how quick he was going to take off. All of a sudden, he backed off. So Sebastian had to back off. I had to back off and almost brake and avoid and like sharply turn to avoid crashing Sebastian's gearbox. And on that, obviously, I lifted, and when you go back on, you have to go on the push to pass again. And the right hand, actually the left side lane, just goes quick. I don't know what happened exactly there.
All right, a lot of discussion on the start, but great start for Rousport. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
The thoughts of Cristiano D'Amata, the 2002 Champ Car World Series champion. His debut with Rousport. He gets a top 5 here at Portland International Raceway. A.J. Allmendinger giving Neil Mickelwright the champagne bath. Next week on CBS Sports, Sunday afternoon, 2:30 Eastern, the Champ Car Grand Prix of Cleveland. And then in 2 more weeks, we'll be with you on CBS in Toronto. And 2 weeks following that from Edmonton in Alberta, Canada. It's been a joy to watch A.J. Allmendinger score his first career Champ Car victory. For Derek Daly, Jan Beekes, Cameron Steele, Michelle Beisner, I'm Rick Benjamin. Thanks for joining us on CBS Sports, where A.J. Allmendinger is your champion. Thanks for watching. Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford.